Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Griffin with my OSINT Training. This is Micah.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, today we're going to talk to you about Bookmarklets, one of our favorite OSINT tools. Micah and I use Bookmarklets in our work every single day. We have a pretty cool repository of free ones that you can take advantage of on our website. And a lot of times people are curious about starting to use them, what they do, how they can incorporate it into their work. So we're making this video series to be able to show you how we use the Bookmarklets and how you can start to do them as well.
That's a lot of words, Griffin. I'm a man of action. I want to see these in action. Can you make that work for me?
I can do that for you, Micah.
Awesome.
You are a man of action. I've always said that about you. All right. So have you ever been doing investigative work online, Micah, and run into some kind of a problem where you want more information than maybe what's on the page, or you wonder if maybe there's other data hidden in there?
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of kind of my favorite sort of secrets of open source intelligence work is when you first start getting into OSINT, you kind of get really good at I'm going to use this tool over here and it's going to help find me these websites or maybe find their social media presence of my target. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to collect on those accounts. But there's another layer of OSINT where there's actually data hidden oftentimes within web pages. And that data can be collected, it can be surfaced, it can be manipulated, it can do all kinds of cool things. And some of my favorite examples of that are first here, this one with Cash.app. So I do a lot of web browser based investigative work where I'm on my laptop, on my machine at home, and I'm doing work in a web browser. And a lot of what I'm doing is person focused. So I may be working with a username, for example, of somebody that I found in social media, and I'm trying to find their web presence in other places. And that kind of work can lead me sometimes to a profile like this, some Cash App profile or a social peer-to-peer transaction network. And when I see a page like this, a lot of times in the past, I would look at it and sort of dismiss it, to be honest.
Yeah, there's the username and the cash tag and the person's name. You got a last name out of it, but that's all there is there.
Sure. And if I'm already looking at this Jane person, which by the way, she's just an example for us, totally innocent person that we've chosen online. But if I'm looking at Jane, I don't really get any additional great, helpful, useful information out of this page. But I know now that there is additional data embedded in here that could be useful to me. So
tell me more.
So if you're visiting Cash App in a mobile device, you actually get to see a person's profile, which can sometimes contain an image. And when you visit them in the web browser, you see this cash tag here in the middle of the screen. And that's not particularly useful to me. But I wondered, is there a way for me to get at the profile photo of this person that I know could possibly exist if I look them up in a mobile browser or whatever on my handheld device? And I eventually figured out that embedded within the page is a link to the profile photo if it exists for the user. And so what Micah and I have done is created a bookmarklet, and we're going to show you what those are and how to get them. And I've got it here in my bookmarks bar. And when I'm on a Cash App profile page, I can click on this box and it's going to give me a pop-up here. Okay. And this modal box is telling me some things that I already know. For example, the cash tag and things like that, the Jane Lee name. But it's also looking deeper into the page and finding me information about, is the account verified? Well, that's a data point that's in the source of this page. What type of rate plan do they have? What's the country code? And importantly, if there's a profile image found, I can click on that button and it will take me right into a new tab with a full-size profile image. Obviously, this is not being rendered to me when I visit the web page here. So in the past, when I would do this work, I would stop at the cash tag and I would collect this and I would move on. Now I know that I'm going to look for that hidden additional data that might be in the page.
Well, and this opens up other avenues for research, right? You have a reverse image search, you have facial recognition and other things if there's that profile picture there. But even without that, Griffin, seeing some of that hidden data, like the personal versus a business type of profile or the country that the profile was created in, that can be really useful as well.
Absolutely. And so that hopefully is opening your mind, if you've never seen this before, to the fact that there's probably additional data embedded in a lot of these social media platforms and different ways that you can access that. So my other sort of example of when I like to get into the page and manipulate it using a bookmarklet is something like this. Very typical for an online investigator to have to visit Facebook as a platform to try and find information about people, places, events, things like that. But sometimes a user may deploy the privacy features of an application, like in Facebook, to limit what information might be available to a non connected person to them. In this case, I've landed on a profile page for this Angela's Victoria person, which, again, innocent person we just have picked out as an example here. But they've actually used a privacy feature of Facebook to lock down their profile. And I don't see any information here that's useful at all. But if I really want that profile image, typically what I would do would be to view it, click on it, then right click and save it, right? But when I try to do it here, I get a warning message that says, hey, this person locked down their profile. You can't actually see what they have unless you're friends with them. But I know, and you'll know in a little bit at the end of this lesson, that that picture is being brought in from the content delivery network associated with Meta. And that if I can isolate where that picture is coming into my web browser, I can probably get at the source of it and see that. And I have a bookmarklet for it. So when I use the bookmarklet for the locked profile image, it opens up a new tab and I can get this picture here. You can see there's other additional information around the outside that was covered by that circular mask. Sometimes that's useful to you, but in other times, just being able to get close here and see the face is all that you need. And now I can right click and save that picture.
Nice. That's really helpful. So what I've seen you do is reveal some hidden data that's in pages, also making data that's in the web page accessible and making so that we can use it in our investigations. These bookmarklets sound like a pretty cool thing, Griffin.
I'm glad you think so, Micah, because we're going to spend the next who knows how long talking about them.
That's awesome. So, all right. So Griffin, what are bookmarklets?
Well, a bookmarklet to me as a non-technical person is a little bit of JavaScript that lives in my browser in the form of a bookmark. And what that JavaScript is going to do is perform some kind of a function on the web page that I'm on. I've demonstrated a couple of different sort of deep seeking functions where it goes and looks into the source code of the page and finds data that's in there that's maybe not visibly rendered to me and surfaces it to me in one of those pop-up modal boxes or in another tab or something like that, depending on the function of it. There's lots of things that you can do with JavaScript to manipulate your browser. But a lot of what we focus on in OSINT is going to be either diving into the page to get that secret data or manipulating what's happening in the browser to give us access to something that's maybe harder to access directly as a user, or performing some kind of repetitive function that we usually do, like the collection of a certain data point or something like that.
Right. So what you're telling me is that whatever these bookmarklets are doing, most of them are taking action on stuff that's already in my browser, right? Some of them may go out and make extra requests for data, but we're not hacking anybody's sites or anything like that, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Not hacking at all. We're using what's available to us in the browser. And in the rare occasion that we do have a bookmarklet in our library for you that does some kind of active callback to the website to be able to get some additional information or something, we'll articulate that in the bookmarklet explanation so that you can see it. But for the most part, everything that we're doing here is already information that's available to you in the browser. It may just not be visibly rendered to you.
Yeah. Web applications nowadays, especially the more modern ones, the ones that are more for complementing mobile applications that we might have on our cellular devices, they commonly pushed more data to our browsers than they actually display on the page. And what we do, Griffin and I, in our spare time, is we look through the page source and we break apart the pages and go, it's interesting. I see a creation date. I see an account type. I see an image URL there. And then we try to bring that to the surface. And then what we do is we package all the goodness up of what we found. And we make these bookmarklets that are on our page. Griffin, do you have the URL for the nice people? Hey.
I sure do, Micah. Look at that. So this is our library of bookmarklets, and we're constantly adding to them and updating them. So you'll see little change log information about the last time we added something or updated a bookmarklet on the page. But they're categorized for you to be able to understand what types of websites they work on, whether it's a specific social media site or if it does a certain kind of function. And, Micah alluded to another use case that we have where, have you ever seen those little tags next to a post or next to an account or something that says, 2 hours ago or last active a month ago or something like that.
The relative dates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those relative dates. Well, what we've found is that a lot of times within the source code of the page is embedded a more precise indication of the date and time that something happened, whether it be a comment on a post or a profile activity that's displayed or something like that. And when you do open source intelligence work, being more precise is often very important. So we've also got some bookmarklets in there that help you to get at the precise information that might be available in the page for you.
Very, very cool. Now, Griffin, one of the things that I am always concerned about is the safety of the things I put into my browser. I'm not loading up these cool extensions and add-ons that I see because I don't really trust them. These bookmarklets seem like they could open up my browser and the things I do to third parties watching me or doing other malicious stuff. How do I know that your bookmarklets are safe and secure to use?
Hey, trust me, Micah. Everything's fine. Just push the button, see what happens. No big deal, right?
That's not happening.
No, that's not how things should work. So obviously, you guys know us, right? I mean, we're all friends here. We are not trying to steal your data or exfiltrate data or do anything nefarious on your system, but it's definitely something you should always be thinking of. And the cool thing about these bookmarklets is they are just like a bookmark in your browser bar. That is, normally if you would bookmark a website, maybe your favorite sports team or something like that as a homepage, and you give it a title of some kind, and then you have a URL of where you want it to visit when you click on the bookmark. Well, in this case, you have a title still, a name of whatever the bookmarklet is, and then in the place where there's normally a URL, you have a bunch of JavaScript. And what you can do if you're interested is you can copy that JavaScript that we're offering you in the bookmark, and you can paste it into your favorite LLM, your ChatGPT, Claude, Mistral, one of those things. You can say, hey, I've got this bit of JavaScript. Tell me what it does. Is there anything malicious happening here? What are the concerns? And it will analyze that for you. And you no longer have to have knowledge of coding and that kind of thing to be able to work with data like that. I use LLMs all the time to be able to tell me these technical things that I don't always understand. And you can ask it to explain it to you like you are a fifth grader, which is usually the level I like to land at when I'm talking to my LLM. So whatever works for you. But either way, you can analyze our bookmarklets and make sure that they're doing what we say they do.
That sounds like the safe way to go. But again, you can trust us. So, Griffin, how about if we show the nice people how to actually install and use these bookmarklets? Okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. So, Griffin, can you show the URL one more time for that's where I am? I am at tools.myosint.training right up here. We got a couple of tabs up here for some sample data to show the bookmarklets off. And this is the page. Now, the page is organized alphabetically by site name. So up at the top, aside from like JSON revealer, the domain bookmarklets, and the email search, everything below that is alphabetical by the site. BandLab, Blue Sky, Facebook, etc. We also have these little tags over here on the right-hand side that you can just search the page for Instagram, and it'll pull up the Instagram bookmarklets. We have the last date, the most recently updated date for these bookmarklets. So if you are somebody that just wants to come back here every now and then and go, which ones were updated since I last checked? Maybe we fixed a bookmarklet or added a new one that's very helpful to you. You can use these dates in the far right column to do that. Let's go ahead and just pick one of these at non-random and use it in a query. See, I've got this The Rock TikTok account here. I'm logged in and I want to get more data about The Rock. Maybe he is a suspect or a victim or something like that. I need information about his account, and these bookmarklets can give that to me. So the first way to use the bookmarklet is simply scroll down the page, go to the bookmarklet you want, in this case, the TikTok user ID bookmarklet, which is described over here as, hey, grab some data from a URL that looks like this, and it extracts certain data. Cool. I'm just going to click on this, hold it with my mouse button, and drag it up to my bookmark bar. And there it is. And Griffin mentioned that the name of the bookmarklet is shown in your bookmark. But if we right click and hit edit, this stuff here where the URL is, that is JavaScript. And you can see that here by going all the way to the left. This is the code that your browser will execute, which will do whatever it is that we're telling it to do. What is it going to do? Let me show you. We go back over here to the Rock profile and we click on TikTok user ID. And what we get is this little modal kind of pop-up box that says, oh, this is the Rock's profile. The username is The Rock, which is confirmed up here. We see the display name is the space Rock right here, right there, sorry. We have a TikTok ID. So if you are law enforcement, working with law enforcement, or just somehow need to note the specific user ID for this account, regardless of whether it's changed in the future, you've got the ID, and it pulls all of this data from inside the web page that's already in my browser. Now, some of the other cool stuff that is in the web page, but not necessarily rendered on the web page here, are things like the created on date and the nickname change date. You can see that this account was created in 2019 on October 7th, and the nickname was changed in 1969. Griffin, what does it mean when this was changed in 1969?
Oh, I love it. So I'll tell you, Micah, when you're dealing with stuff on the internet, you're often going to run into timestamps in the form of a 10-digit, or I think it goes up to 13 maybe digit number, but it's going to be an epoch timestamp, Unix time also called. And what that is the number of seconds that has elapsed since January 1st, 1970. And what you're seeing here is that the nickname field has not been changed on this account. So it's been the same ever since the account was created, and therefore there is no date stamp that's happened to let you know that it's been changed. If last month, for example, The Rock had updated the nickname on this page, you would see a date from last month in that window there. Instead, you see the beginning of epoch time, the beginning of Unix time, which is just right before January 1st of 1970.
So this is another one of those opportunities for you to understand the site a little bit more and how it actually stores data about users. Understanding that it's going to be using that Unix or epoch time, and that this is unset essentially, that the nickname's never been changed, can be really, really important. Conversely, I had a case I was working on where I saw that no posts or videos or anything had been posted in the account of the user I was looking at, but they had changed the nickname on the account like the previous day or the previous week. And we let our contacts know that, and they were able to do some work with TikTok and eventually find a missing person. There's a big ... in there, but this can show activity on the account even when you don't see the things that are happening. And then we have a bunch of other stuff here, like the nickname, the bio, and some other stuff here. This is just presented to you for conciseness. It absolutely shows up here that same stuff, right? And then we have the URL that we're at. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll use this bookmarklet, click on it, get that. We'll take a screenshot of the page as it is to show that data with all of the things that I can see right now, and we'll store it. And then in the future, we'll come back. And when we come back, if we notice any changes, we can screenshot that as well. Please keep in mind, if you are using these bookmarklets and your data or your case is going to court, do not click on the bookmarklet and then take a screenshot, because you are altering the way the page looks in your browser, and it will probably not be admissible in your case, right? Cool. So that's one way to do this. Griffin, any questions? Did I miss anything?
I think it's really important that if this is all new to you, to remember that one of the things that we're doing repeatedly in professional OSINT work is capturing the user ID of social media profiles. So that long string of numbers there is not just kind of unnecessary text. It's actually very critical for professional investigative work, because it is the sole indicator of what that profile is. Regardless of all the features that can be changed on there, from the username to the display name to the profile photo, and all that stuff can all be manipulated by the user and changed into different content. the user ID will never change. And that's very common across most of the bigger social media platforms. So you should always be looking for that unique static ID number for whatever platform you're evaluating.
Now, one thing you and I didn't cover, Griffin, is can can websites detect that people are using these bookmarklets? Like what I just did in TikTok, is TikTok going to know that I just grabbed all that extra data from my browser?
I don't know. It sounds like from what I read in the news, TikTok already knows everything that I'm doing anyway.
Okay. For the sake of this video,
Oh,
are they
right,
going
right.
to know? And bookmarklets, focus,
Yeah,
focus.
right. So the content that we displayed to you in that little modal pop-up box is already available in the page. So it's already been delivered from TikTok to your system. It may not be presented to you in that same fashion, but what we're doing basically is looking into what's already in your browser, already delivered, bubbling up the things that we want and formatting it in a way that you can understand. So
Yeah.
they're not seeing anything additional with that one.
Yep. Now, there are other people's bookmarklets out there that may scroll down the page very fast or do other things. Those could be detected by different applications because you are interacting with the page and it might be sending content back or requesting extra data from the website. So just because our bookmarklets are lower on the risk profile doesn't mean that everybody's are. So we really encourage you to use duck.ai, use an LLM, and investigate what a bookmarklet does. And you can even ask the AI, hey, what risks are there to my browser, myself, my profile if I use them? All right, so that was one way to do the loading of a bookmarklet. All we did was click on a bookmarklet like this X user ID bookmarklet. We bring it up to our bookmark bar, or you can put it in a folder, which is one I like to do. You go to a page and then you click on it and boom, there it is. It's got all of the things that you need. That's one way to do it. But there's another way, thanks to an OSINT community member out there. And that way is using the Tampermonkey add-on or extension. Let's take a look at that. And I guess one of the things that we should bring up, Griffin, is if you scroll to the bottom of our tools.myosint training page, there is a little bit of an explanation here about what a bookmarklet is. And there's 3 methods here to install a bookmarklet. We've done the easy method twice now. The more manual method, I'm going to skip for now. I'll let you look at it directly if you need that. And then we have this Tampermonkey automated method. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. The Tampermonkey extension essentially adds on to your browser to allow us to add in certain JavaScript code. Again, there's some big risks here, right? You're allowing some third party to open up your Chrome, open up your Brave browser, and allow somebody else to put executable code in there. That code could be used to monitor the sites you go to, alter them, steal your data. Our bookmarklets don't do any of those things and will never do any of those things. But you should beware. And in fact, on this page, we call out all of those things. This second way of loading bookmarklets in your browser actually has a benefit. And this is where you need to decide, is it really worth it? The benefit here is that as we update our bookmarklets and fix bookmarklets and add new bookmarklets, if you use this Tampermonkey way, your browser will automatically get updated. So you don't always have to come back to the tools.myosint.training page and check and say, hey, which bookmarklets got updated since the last time I was here. It just automatically is in your browser. Now let me show you the quick and easy setup, the process. Here on this page, we go through a whole bunch of warnings and things. You do need to install Tampermonkey extension for Chrome or Brave. I've already got it installed. That's this one right here. And then we're going to install things. Now, there are 2 ways of installing it. One is a static way where you go and you copy the bookmarklets, paste it into Tampermonkey, and then you can use it. I don't like doing that because there's no real benefit to that other than just going ahead and dragging each bookmarklet up into my bookmark bar. It doesn't update automatically that way. Method 2 is the way that we're going to do. And the way we do that is right-clicking on this user script.js, copying the link address. Then we go up here to Tampermonkey, and we're going to go to the dashboard. In the dashboard, you can see there are no user scripts that are installed yet. To install it, we're going to go to Utilities, Import, and then Paste. And there's that tools.myosint.training/tampermonkey/userscript.js. I'll install that. It says, hey, here's the data. At the time of us recording this, it's version 1.09. And every time we update the page, that revision gets more and more. And here's all the different bookmarklets that you'll see. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and install this. And it was completed. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what do I do? I mean, how do I use it? It's actually a lot simpler now, because now when I come to a page that I want to do something on, like this X profile, you see there's a 1 over here. The 1, if I click it, I can do any of these bookmarklets. Now, some of these bookmarklets are generic ones that aren't for X, but some of them, like the X user ID bookmarklet, does the exact same thing as if I click this. I can also, if I'm a person that likes right-clicking, right-click, Tampermonkey, OSINT Training, X bookmarklet. 2 different ways to use that bookmarklet. And it will check by default weekly to see if the bookmarklets have been updated on our site. And then it'll say, hey, I detected an update. Do you want me to update your bookmarklets? And you can say yes or no. So just another way to do this, if you want to stay simple, just drag the bookmarklets up to your bookmarklet bar or into a bookmarklets folder. If you want to have those updates, you can always use Tampermonkey.
So Micah, this is the kind of thing that goes a little bit beyond my technical knowledge, and it sounds like it's a little bit more intrusive on my system than the previous method of just dragging the bookmarklets to my bar. Any considerations if I'm using a company laptop or something belonging to my organization instead of maybe my personal machine that I should think about?
No.
No? Oh, perfect.
No, of course. I mean, so the Tampermonkey application, like I said, opens up your Chrome or Brave browser to other software that can be loaded in there, like our JavaScript list of actions that you can perform. It can also be used to do bad things as well. And in fact, your company may not allow you to install this, or the virtual platform that you're using may not allow you to use Tampermonkey at all. It just depends. And that's why we provide multiple ways for you to get access to and use the bookmarklets.
Very good.
Cool. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this. I think there's only one topic left to cover. Griffin, what do we do if the bookmarklet, I drag it up into my bookmark bar and I click on it just like I saw Micah do, or just like I saw you do, and nothing happens? What are some of the troubleshooting steps that we can do?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is open up an email to support at OSINT Training, put on my caps lock, and just rail away about how this free tool that I have access to does not work properly.
Okay, we're cutting that out because nobody should do that ever. No, these are unsupported bookmarklets. No,
please.
All right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So one of the most common things that you'll run into is needing to just hit refresh on the page. That will probably solve 9 out of 10 issues that you'll have where maybe the pop-up isn't popping up, or it's popping up with an error, or something like that is happening, and you know that you have the most updated bookmarklet version that you're using, and you click on it, and it's supposed to be for that type of platform, and it's not working. Refresh the page, click it again. Most of the time, that's going to work.
Cool. And if you do find that one of our bookmarklets is not working as expected, as it's described, or has changed, this happens because the social media platforms, the things inside the web pages, they change. Just let us know. You can let us know privately at support@myosint.training, and we will take a look at the bookmarklet. Also, at the bottom of the page, there's a place that if you make your own bookmarklets and you want us to review them and then add them to our page, you can submit it to us as well. So choose your own adventure, and we hope that bookmarklets are something that enhances your OSINT capabilities.